Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
This year, help dreams come true with the Ideal Idaho 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits, ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, K-12 education, and student loan repayment. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org if you would like to learn more.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange,
And not all our steaks are ribeyes.
but wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road.
Belts strapped and dreams packed.
No distractions, no phones, focused. From here to there, it's who we are.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple miles from the Oregon border, we are in Fruitland tonight for this big 4A SRV matchup. Two top-ranked teams in the 4A classification. One of them can clinch a conference championship here tonight. Good evening. My name is Lucas Gebhardt, alongside my broadcast partners Ryan Luke and Zach White here tonight. Gentlemen, this should be a fun one here tonight. It is Treasure Valley Game Night presented by Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, as well as Your Health Idaho. Additional coverage brought to you tonight by Meridian Plumbing and Lookout Credit Union. Ryan, we'll start with you. We'll start with Weiser, which is the team that tonight can win its first conference championship in the Tom Harrison era. It would be their first conference championship since 2005. They can do it here tonight.
2005, as you would like to say, maybe somewhere else? I don't know. No, Weiser is a really unique, in a unique situation. Only undefeated team in the conference so far, but a couple things that jump out to me. This is a team that is getting better as the season goes on, and that's a sign of maturity and a team that is really kind of gelling and peaking at the right time. And so if I'm looking at Weiser, I'm looking at a team that has some diverse weapons. They can do it multiple ways. Weiser has always been one of those physical teams, and that dates back to the Hans Olsen era all the way through till now, and I see that. I see that physicality in Weiser. Now, if we flip it and we talk about Fruitland's climbing back to the top again. They had a down year last year, but this year kind of a senior-heavy but also upperclassman-heavy team. And, the showdown with Homedale last week was a phenomenal game, and you see a really well-put-together team and well coached. And so, I don't know. I'm looking at both of these teams going, something's got to give. Something's got to give between these two powerhouses.
Weiser, Zach, has beaten Homedale. They've beaten McCall. So if they win here tonight and you look at the conference standings, there's just a logjam. It's basically four teams vying for the conference championship. Weiser is leading the way at 3-0 in conference play. But Fruitland, Homedale, McCall are right behind each other. By the way, Homedale and McCall play each other tonight. One of them will lose tonight. Weiser will either win a conference championship tonight or Homedale is going to cause absolute chaos next week.
Well, that's why we love this time of year. Excuse me.
That's right.
It's very, very exciting in that one team can cause absolute chaos in conference play, in playoff hopes. It's just going to be a really exciting night. And Weiser, again, they're looking for their first title in 19 years. Well, this Fruitland team is coming off again, as you said, Ryan, a bit of a tough year last year, but they've been on a bit of a roll until that 1-point loss last week, but I don't think that's going to derail these Fruitland Grizzlies as they battle Weiser tonight.
Fruitland has his sophomore quarterback. He's one of the best in the state here, Ryan. Titus Vidlak started as a true freshman, 5'11", 170 pounds. Fruitland will sling the ball around the yard a little bit. Weiser doesn't do any of that. Weiser's going to run the ball until next Tuesday, but Fruitland, on the other hand, has got a gunslinger.
Yeah, and you made the point, and we talked about the physicality of Weiser, and they're going to line you up and they're going to punch you in the mouth. And so my question is going to be is how does Fruitland respond to that? Fruitland does have some size up front. Weiser's going to lean on you. They'll lean on you all game, and their big gains, their gashes start coming in the second half after they've established the run game, and they're able to establish a line of scrimmage. Now, Fruitland, again, no slouch, and we'll see them how they respond. But you talked about Vidlak and Titus Vidlak, and he's a good quarterback, but he's a better athlete, and he's a guy that can create with his legs and extend plays, and I think that's critical at this level, specifically at the high school level. But then once you start getting into those 3 and 4As, the best athlete on the field wins. The best athlete wins, and Vidlak is a phenomenal athlete, and you're going to see him do some great things, and along with throwing the ball, you're going to see him pick up some big first downs and go for some big gains with his legs as well.
So here is kind of what's at stake here tonight. Up on your screen right now is the 4A Snake River Valley Conference standings. You can kind of see what we're talking about. Weiser has, as we said, beaten Homedale.
Point differential, they go alike opponents record, and then I think they go scoring differential. So anyway, there's some mathematical equation, or we'll call it algorithm, to determine the conference champion. But the reason that is so critical is who do they match up with in the first round? That's the point. And do they get the favorable matchups? If it's me, I mean, you got to win this thing, because if you drop all the way to the 3rd seed, you're going to be playing a tough team, most likely coming out of Eastern Idaho.
Yeah, and that tough team very well could be Sugar Salem down the road. Sugar Salem did lose a couple games earlier in the year, but they're right back at the top of the Max Prep rankings polls. You can go check out what we think those playoff brackets are going to look like come here in a couple weeks on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey's got his Brackets Bainey's columns going right now. You can go check those out on the homepage on the site. But next week, here's what it looks like next week as we kind of set this thing up as both teams take the field for the coin toss. This is who plays who next week. Payette will go to Weiser, so Weiser hosting Payette. Fruitland goes to McCall, and next week Homedale hosting Coal Valley Christian. So there is one of those 4 teams do play each other next week as well. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on here tonight as we go along. How does that McCall-Homedale game play itself out?
Okay, so realistically, I guess I thought those two had played. So realistically, what we're talking about is you're going to have 2 potential tie at the top, because one's beating the other that's beating the other, because one's going to have lost 2 games. Theoretically, if they win out, one will have lost 2 games. One of the 2, Fruitland, or McCall-Donley, Fruitland, or Homedale will have lost. Right. One of those will have lost 2. Okay. But I don't think that keeps them out of the playoffs.
No, both these teams I think are certainly playoff teams, and you look at the top 4 or the top 5 state media poll as well. Homedale is actually at the top of the media poll right now. They're not at the top of the Max Prep rankings poll. That's still Sugar Salem. Homedale's at the top of the media poll. Sugar's right behind them. Both those teams shared 4 first-place votes, so they're both right there neck and neck. And then right there at 3rd is Fruitland. Fruitland did get a first-place vote as well. Buell at 4th, and Weiser coming in at 5th. So the ironic thing is Weiser is leading this deep conference, and they're 3rd out of the 4 teams in the media poll.
But at this point, man, this is splitting hairs, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we're splitting hairs in terms of who's the best of best in probably the best 4A conference. You can make the argument over in Eastern Idaho with Sugar Salem. Teton has had some relevance as of lately, but in terms of the conference, I would say this is your best 4A conference.
We're just moments away from kickoff here at Fruitland. Senior night here tonight for the Grizzlies. They'll be wearing the all-black uniforms, white numbers, and Weiser They look just like the Wisconsin Badgers when they go to the road. That's the exact uniform that they'd be wearing. White helmets, red pants, white jerseys.
And I'm shocked there's no W on there. They should just rip the whole thing off and go for it. You know? Let's just do it.
So just moments away here from kickoff. Xander Cray, one of the deep man. He's a deep man in the middle of the formation for Weiser. Back deep to receive this opening kick, and off we go here from Fruitland. It's a low line driving kick. We take it by Gray at the 17 as he works his way between the hash marks up to the 34 before he's stopped. And so here comes the Weiser offense for the first time tonight. It's a Weiser offense that's been cranking. The Weiser dropped their first 2 games of the year. Since then, they've rolled 5 in a row off, and a lot of it has been this offense just scoring at will. This is a running game. They're going to try to establish the running game early and often. Weiser, a very difficult team to beat if they get the lead early. Split back formations to start. They try the right side. This is Cash Cobb, and he has 2 yards up to the 35.
Yeah, and Weiser, one of those unique teams in high school football these days that lines up the quarterback under center. I mean, it's rare that we see that. Everybody's in shotgun spread formation, and you're going to see a lot of motion and a lot of counter plays, and that's going to trying to get misdirection going and catch the Fruitland defense on their heels or going one way or the other.
Quarterback Colin Cook back under center as they try one of those counters. This is Cole Engel who's trying to find the edge, has the first down to the 45.
Engel read his block really well there. They actually hooked the defensive end as he got around there, and then it was the pursuit of the linebackers that caught up to him. But I like that early and often. Test the speed. Test those linebackers. Can they get side to side? Can they get lateral and make the tackles out on the edges? Because Weiser's going to, I mean, they're going to run every angle at you, and if you can find a weakness in the defense, you got to exploit it.
1st and 10 now from the 45. Toss to Engel once again. Engel up towards midfield, stopped right at the 50. This is just what Weiser does. They kill you 4 yards at a time.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that it's not a 5-man defensive front, and you got to be careful for the play action here, but if it's me, I immediately go to that. I stop the run, right? Like, well, there's nothing else to stop. They say stop one aspect, one element of the game, and you got to stop the run.
Right side this time, hole up the middle, first down to the 40. Cash Cobb, his second carry of the night, pushes the Wolverines into Grizzly territory. 10.5 to go here in the opening quarter.
Now, if you're the Fruitland defense, are you expecting a run like every single play? I mean, both of you have said today that they will just pound the ball. They will run the ball so much. But then you have that play action pass that could really take the top off a defense, especially if you run the ball so much. That guy can eventually bite you in the butt because you might have a guy 20 yards wide open down the field. That and the counter is what you got to watch out for as well. Here's something that's going to throw him off schedule. No, offsides on Fruitland is the call. So move it up 5 yards. Weiser helped out.
So the big thing about being a run-oriented offense is that you shorten the game. So as long as you're moving forward, you're shortening the game in terms because the clock keeps running, and that is a huge advantage to you. Cash Cobb here with the handoff, getting 2 yards, and he'll take it. Hey, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, like rolling forward. Look, at some point, Fruitland's going to have to sell out. They're going to have to go zero high. They're going to have to go man on the outside, man across the board, and load the box. And then, you know what? If you get beat by a play action, you get beat by a play action. But you got to stop them at some point. And, test early and often, and you can see Fruitland's kind of, there they go. They roll the 5-man defensive front now. So 5 defensive linemen in.
It's going to be 2nd and 3. This drive approaching the 3-minute mark. Now 9 minutes to go. Again up the middle. Cobb, first down across the 30 to the 28.
Yeah, and perfectly content.
Yeah.
Weiser's perfectly content. Sure, we'll take 4 yards. No problem.
So fresh set of downs here for Weiser. Weiser trying to extend already its 5-game winning streak. When they had dropped the first 2 games of the year, things didn't look too promising for the Wolverines, but fast forward to where we are now, I think they'd take it. Off the left side as they try Cobb again. Cobb stacked up at the 25, and really what has captured this 5-game winning streak and has really put a stamp on things is that win over Homedale a couple weeks ago. At home, Weiser got them at home. Homedale looks like they were going to score early. Turnover. Weiser goes down and scores. They try a surprise onside kick. They get it. They go down and score again. Homedale had some problems with snapping the ball. There were 2 snaps in that game that resulted in defensive touchdowns for Weiser. But that game was all Weiser all night.
Yeah, and ball control offense, right? I mean, it's you control the offense, you control the clock, and you grind it out. Now, this holding call is going to be rough. Now, in Idaho high school football, it's you march it off 10 yards from the point of infraction. I don't like that rule. I think they need to revisit it. It should just be a 10-yard penalty. But in this situation, now if you're a running team, you get behind the sticks now, and you have to make up a ton of ground. And unless you can rip something off, 4-yard carries aren't going to cut it. This is where Fruitland needs to be. Defensively, they need to get him in this, first and long now, but those long situations.
1st and 25. Sarek, the man in motion, our first throw of the night. And here's a bomb down the middle of the field into Cup.
Run in front of him. Great technique. Ran in front of him, slowed down, didn't use his hands. Was able to shield him from the ball.
Yeah, an impressive thing any safety can do is what they do.
There it is. There's the run. They ran the blitz. They were in my headset, man. They heard me say it.
The blitz working to perfection, and now a 4th down and long coming up for Weiser. And guys, this might be a situation where Weiser's got to go to the air here. Colin Cook, the senior quarterback, or we've seen him get Cook out on the edge before. But either way, they're going to have to pick up 8 yards here. That did not go according to plan.
Did not, and it was Quinn Hood, the linebacker. He blitzed in. He was able to get him in the backfield, and I watched him creep, and then he was shooting the gap versus these counters. Shooting the gap is very, very difficult to block if you're an offensive lineman because if he's past you, there's no getting it back.
Here's a set you pretty much only see when Weiser is almost guaranteed to throw the ball. It's shotgun here for Weiser.
Or punt.
Or punt. Yeah, it was punt last time. And a timeout taken by Weiser as they want to talk about it a little bit more before this 4th down and 8. Hey, did you know that most kids don't drink alcohol or use drugs? In fact, the majority choose to stay substance-free. And in Idaho, approximately 9 out of 10 kids are not drinking or using drugs. Parents, did you know that talking to your kids about your expectations for them to not drink alcohol or use drugs is one of the most important things associated with your kids making healthy choices? And teens, did you know that most of your friends and peers don't drink or use drugs? Know that you are making the healthiest choice and the most common choice to be substance-free. That message brought to you by Southwest District Health and the Partnerships of Success program.
Let's go. Don't drink. Make good choices, kids.
That's right.
And parents. Everybody.
Yeah, that's a message for everyone, not just the kids out there.
That's right.
4th down and 8 coming up here for Weiser.
I think you'll see the same formation in early on in the game here, and I would be surprised if they didn't pooch punt again. They have 2 protectors back there. I think you're going to see this. And he'll start shifting back here in a minute. No, they're going to go for it.
Cook
there it is.
Throw. Sarich has it short of the 1st down. Did he get it?
He did not. That's going to be turnover on downs, and he was wide open. If you put it on him, he was able to get upfield earlier, but that's going to be a 1st down, Fruitland.
Got to run the route to the sticks, right? And he is short. Fruitland takes over on downs.
So far, I made 2 predictions, and I've been terrible. So I'm going to stop doing that for the remainder of the night. I'm just giving my opinion, folks.
Well, what you were correct on is if the quarterback, if he threw that more of like a bullet pass instead of lobbing it in there, I think that is an easy 1st down because the receiver was wide open in the flat. But he just kind of lofted it in there. I think he was facing the pressure, and lo and behold, you're about a yard short of the 1st down. But if you were able to zip that pass in a little tighter, I think that's an easy 1st down.
Yeah, Luke Sarich was the intended receiver, and he ran a drag route, and nobody picked him up on that. He was wide open. The safety, in fact, the defender that tackled him peeled off of his own receiver to make the tackle.
1st and 10 now from the 35. They go to the ground. Here's the running back, Tess, and he has just a couple of yards. That's on that first down run.
Yeah, Fruitland's going to get creative here. They're playing against a very physical front, and you have to keep them honest running the ball, but their bread and butter is creating something with the quarterback, getting him outside or maybe slinging the ball. Again, they've tested the edges, nothing deep. Looks like Weiser's going to continue. And there is a big W on their helmet. They're just facing the other direction. Let's go.
Exactly
It is. I stand corrected, folks. 4th time tonight, man. I'm doing really well.
2nd down and 6, setting a man in motion. That's Tracy. Now he circles back, and Fruitland started early. This one's going to be on Philpott, and the flag's just starting to pile up tonight for Fruitland.
Yeah, which is odd. At the end of the season, typically a little bit more discipline. You know what's going on, and we're seeing some very undisciplined play so far right now, specifically with Fruitland. I think that's flag number 5 for the evening.
And they've only run 4 offensive plays.
1, 2, 5.
5 offensive
plays.
So that's a flag of play. 2nd down and 11. Comes the blitz off the edge. They're going to throw a screen pass. Pass caught up to the 35. Good defense. Philpott on the reception. Gains a couple, but now it leaves a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, 3rd time they've called that play tonight. So of the 6 plays, that's the 3rd time that they've I take that back. One of them was there was a penalty, but that was the 3rd time. At some point, there's going to be a variation where one of the blockers releases and gets upfield.
And they get a free 5 here. As you can see it all night. That's Ty Cobb that they just love to blitz off the edge.
Yeah, we talked about it when they were on the other end in the first quarter. As he creeps, he'll fake the blitz and he comes out. And at some point, we talked about them really getting after it and heading towards a quarterback. That's why you got to change that cadence, snap count.
That's what they did there. Got him 5 yards. 3rd down and 2. 9:23 to go here in the 2nd quarter. A game that's still looking for its pace here tonight. Vidlak to throw on 3rd and short. Here comes the pressure. Vidlak escapes, throws at the feet of his check down, and it's 4th down.
And guess who it was off the nickel blitz? Number 5, Ty Cobb.
Yep.
We were just talking about how he jumped offsides on that previous play, was able to apply the pressure, getting around the right tackle and almost sacking the mobile Vidlak. Vidlak was able to get it out of his hand and throw it to his receiver's feet. And by the way, are we not just going to say is this kid's name is Ty Cobb?
I know, it's pretty cool.
That's got to be something special right there.
So defensively, though, you look at Weiser, and they're running kind of that. In the Steelers were notorious for this, probably in the late 90s, early 2000s. They put 2 defensive line. Ooh, going to go for it.
Going for it on 4th and 2 from their own 41. Vidlak to throw. Clean pocket this time. Slant route caught first down.
Got it. Oh, man. And just got it. They're going to say incomplete, but the ball never touched the ground. What a phenomenal grab. He kind of bobbled it. He ended up pinning it against his leg for the first down, but he got just to the sticks.
Official on the near side is pointing as if he thinks they got a first down. Official's going to get together now. It looked like from up here he got it.
Yeah, let's see. We have like 15 cameras around us. Let's see if somebody wants to.
Somebody's
got to have it. Let's zoom in on it. Yeah, they're going to call it a completion, and that's the right call. He did pin it against his leg, and it never did touch the ground.
Spencer Tracy on the 4th down reception keeps the Fruitland drive alive. Now they're going to go no huddle. 1st and 10 from the 44. Back to the ground they go. Tesla Videk trying to step out of a tackle, dragged down at the 49.
Whew. And just, if they had not, that was big number 40 that made the tackle on that.
Yeah, Cash Cobb.
Yeah, that was Cash, right? If Cash hadn't got a hold of him and run, there was a lot of green in front of him. He would have picked up a good 10, 15 yards more. And an explosive play, Fruitland's searching for that explosive play right now. One of these 2 teams has got to bust it open with something big.
I know we haven't really seen any big plays so far yet from either team. Still waiting on that first explosive play.
Now both corners from off the edge looking like they were going to come, and instead it's a full start on Fruitland. Another flag on Fruitland.
I'm going to slaughter his name. Grosvenor. I did slaughter it. Grosvenor came out late, and he was the man that jumped off sides, and that happens when you don't know the snap count. Now, as a receiver, your job is to look in and see the ball, right? There's no excuse for that. But his timing was off as he came in there. He was the last man on the field. Grosvenor, I was testing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Second down and 10. Under 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Another flag.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, listen, it just disrupts the flow of the game, and it's tough to get anything going.
And it goes against Fruitland, pushes them back 5 more yards. Just uncharacteristic mistakes here from the Fruitland offense in the penalty department.
Yeah, we're going to need to start tallying up how many penalties just the Fruitland offense has been making. Total, I believe, we're at 7?
That's 7 penalties, yeah.
7, yep.
Guys, there's 7:45 left in the second quarter. 7 penalties.
Not what you're looking for is Fruitland trying to get this play in. It's now a second down and 15 as the clock starts here. It's 7:37 to go in the second.
These coaches are training these players to go one game at a time, but you don't think that loss to Homedale by 1 point last week is affecting these kids at all. I mean, you are at home. It is senior night, but something to think about.
Vidlak to throw, has time, throws over the middle. That pass caught near the first down. Now it's incomplete. Popped out of his hands at the last second. Tracy couldn't hold on.
Yeah, Tracy, it looked like he was anticipating getting hit. Like he kind of crouched up. He didn't bring the ball in smoothly, didn't naturally bring it into his body. He's looking like he was waiting to get hit, and it didn't happen, so he kind of fumbled to the ground and was not able to bring it in. He's typically very sure-handed. And Vidlak on that one was kind of an interesting throw. He sat back there, and when he let it go, it looked like he had put everything he could into it to get it across the field.
Timeout on the field, 3rd and 15 when we resume. So the story so far tonight has been the offensive penalties for Fruitland. And it just seems like this offense trying to get something going. And it seems like right when they got it going, they got back-to-back penalties that pushed them back 10 yards. On the other side for Weiser, it seems like their offensive flow, they're much more comfortable offensively than what it at least appears to be eye test-wise here for Fruitland.
I think something that's really important to note is momentum, no matter if you're at the pro level, the high school level, college, Pee-wee level. Momentum is very, very important. When you're on a winning streak, specifically Weiser's on that 5-game winning streak after starting 0-2, that carries throughout the entire season. And I'm not saying one loss can derail your season, but if you're Fruitland here, like I said earlier, I feel like that loss to Homedale last week by 1 point is still kind of lingering with them in their head, because Homedale's one of these 3 teams vying for that spot, them, McCall, and these 2 teams right here.
Yep.
So again, momentum I still think is a very, very important factor that I think, especially in football, I think a lot of people need to take into consideration.
Yeah, Fruitland had won 6 in a row before losing by that single point to Homedale last week. Weiser has won its last 5. One of the hottest teams in the 4A class are these Wolverines. 3rd down and 15.
2-man defensive line. This boggles my mind. Boggles my mind.
See if they bring pressure off the edge. They do. Vidlak over the middle. That pass is caught by Grosvenor, who's popped at the 48. And pops right back up.
That was a big-time collision.
Yeah.
I mean, he caught that thing and held on, and not only did he get hit when he caught it, he got thrown to the ground at the same time. So I'm going to talk Fruitland defense for just a minute. It feels like, and again, this is me, but it feels like they've kind of figured out the Weiser offense. Now, if Weiser because they're going to get the ball back here, it's a punt. When they get the ball back, Weiser's going to have to throw a couple more wrinkles into their offense just to keep them on their heels, because right now they're run blitzing to the gap. Fruitland's been able to anticipate where the ball's going.
Jameson, a much shorter punt this time, takes a bounce at the 30 and will roll its way down to the 22. So here comes the 3rd drive of the night. Here for the Weiser offense so far, punt, turnover on downs.
Punt, turnover on downs, and lots of penalties. So Fruitland trying to figure it out on offense, and I think that they're going to have to go back to it. Listen, in these types of situations, keep it in Vidlak's hand, roll him out, and create something on the edge. Problem is they're only rushing 2 guys, maybe bringing a 3rd blitzer, but they're running double high coverage on both sides of the field because they're so confident Weiser is in their defensive line.
Colin Cook, the quarterback, split back formation, I should say, as they hand this up the middle. Cash Cobb forward to the 29.
And Weiser picked up the run blitz that time. They blitzed. Quinn Hood came up the middle again on that run blitz, anticipating the gap, and they made the adjustment, blocked, and blew everybody off the ball. It was a 7-yard gain just like that.
That's how you strategize. That's how you go against the game plan. That's how you foil your opponent's game plans, I should say. I mean, what we saw in the last drive was just blitzing through those A and B gaps and just getting no yards whatsoever, but then they counter right there with a gain of 7. So if you can just do that down the field like Weiser did on their very first drive, this drive should look very promising.
Quinn Hood was an all-state, second-team all-state linebacker last year, so that's one of the best linebackers in the state that they just picked up on that blitz. And another flag, this one against Fruitland, so helps Weiser out, gives them a first down, in fact.
Yeah. Well, as my niece would say, bummer. She's 3. So, bummer for Fruitland because, you know what, give it up. Start fresh here because there's nothing really beating you deep. I mean, at this point, they're still running that high safety. Nothing's going to get past you.
Right side this time. They go up the middle, and probably the longest play of the night so far to the 49, as that's Cash Cobb who picks up the first down.
Look at the Weiser crowd. Now, those guys, they kind of came in afterwards. At the start of the game, they were not there. Now, I know the drive is like a good, 20 minutes from here, so Weiser crowd bringing it.
Whistle timeout taken by Fruitland. 5:17 left to play here in this second quarter. It is Treasure Valley game night here on IdahoSports.com. It's presented by Project Filter, Valley-wide Cooperative, the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, and Your Health Idaho. Additional coverage by Lookouts Credit Union and Meridian Plumbing. Lucas Gebhardt, Ryan Luke, Zach White here for IdahoSports.com, bringing you coverage of this important conference game late in the season. Only 1 week left in the season after this one, and then we hit the playoffs. Both these teams pretty much firmly in the playoffs at this point, as obviously the 4A bracket seeded according to the Max Prep rankings. Right now, Fruitland the 3 seed, and Weiser is the 4 seed. So that's a potential matchup that you could see down the line, maybe quarterfinals, maybe state semifinals as well.
These two teams, I mean, that's great. These guys have state championship aspirations at this point. I mean, these are two well-built football teams. It's a 0-0 score with 5:17 left in the second quarter, and it's showing. They go about it 2 different ways. Obviously, offenses are completely different, but built for state championships.
Cook here on first down. We'll send a man in motion to that far side. Handoff up the middle as they go back to Cash Cobb as we approach the 5-minute mark. Gain of 6.
Yeah, Cash Cobb, and again, nothing fancy. They led up the hole. That was the 2 hole. For all the viewers out there, and if you are a football junkie guru, if it's to the right, they're even numbers. If it's to the left, it's odd numbers. The 2 holes just to the right of the center. 4 hole, 6 hole, 8 hole, all the way out and to the left. 1, 3, 5, 7. Shoot, you could say 9.
Yeah, in this offense, 11.
11.
Over on the right side, a physical run once again here by Cobb. He has the first down to the 40.
They're using Cash Cobb in all sorts of ways. I mean, not just on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, but they're lining him up as a fullback. They're lining him up as the lone tailback. They're lining him up in a split back formation, giving him the ball. So they're using this guy, Cash Cobb, in all sorts of ways, and we've seen him tonight. Bit of a power back. He usually runs right up the middle between those guards and to the right or the left of the center. So they're just going to keep pounding the rock with him, and I don't really see him going to the outside at all. Just really keeping inside.
He's between the tackles for sure. Now they'll throw. Throwing this one down the far side, and it's too far for the intended receiver. They were looking for Garrett Walker as Cook let that one go down the far side.
2 men in the pattern. That was it. And both of them went deep. One split the seam, one split the middle of the field in the seam route, and one ran along the sidelines. And it was going deep either way. And that's game film. That's watching and knowing, hey, if they're going to run it, that's why they keep the safety up there. We're not going to let them beat us deep. Fruitland confidence, a lot of confidence in their front seven.
Back to the ground they go. Toss to Engel. And Engel hits the wall to the 36. Gain of 4. 3rd and 6 coming up. Under 4 minutes to play before the half.
Man, this is a solid defensive outing on this set of downs for Fruitland, and you saw it. You know, they manned up really well. Not a really well thrown ball, but defensively they have now 3rd and long. If they can limit this, again, this is a 2. They have no problem going for it on 4th down. Weiser does. Now you got to get them in a 3rd and really long, or 4th and really long, pardon me, to do it. But bread and butter would say Cash Cobb up the middle, put him off the 3-hole this time, and see if you can pick up 4 to 5 yards.
And this is going to be an absolute disaster as Colin Cook is dragged down at the 45. They tried a toss to Engel, tried to get him on the edge, and then the ball somehow ended up back in Cook's hands. And
it was a reverse play. Yeah, it was a reverse pass play, and they came off the edge, and that was number 6 for Fruitland. Let me get my light here. So that was Killian Wilson. No, that's not who it was. It was number 2 is who it was. Jace Morthorst, who came and he followed him along, and it was a reverse pass. 2 guys downfield, but they didn't fall for it at all. Pooch punt.
It looked like number 40, Cash Connor, was supposed to give a block or give something on that left side to protect the edge.
Couldn't quite get this one to check up. Xander Gray watches it go into the end zone. So Weiser, its 2nd punt of the night, and will bring the Fruitland offense back onto the field. They'll start at the 20. Fruitland just 2 punts so far tonight on their first 2 drives as well. So both offenses, and there's no other way to put this. This has been a defensive struggle here tonight.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking for some positivity from both sides here. On the offense side of the ball, defensively, you can see they made some great adjustments so far. Fruitland, the big adjustment is they've been sending blitzes from multiple angles, trying to get them in the backfield, and that's what you're going to have to do in order to mitigate that push right up in the middle of the offensive line. So they've been doing that. Defensively, look at this set. Again, 2 guys are going to rush 3, 4.
We're going to go to Tesla Vidic up the middle, and he gets about 2 or 3 as we approach the 2-minute mark. Just quickly want to talk about scoring defense in this conference. Weiser gives up about 20 points a game. Fruitland just short of 15 points a game. Homedale gives up 13 a game. The best defense, the best scoring defense in this conference, McCall Donnelly. They give up 10 points a game.
Yeah, McCall Donnelly, they're beefy. And they're tough, and they'll punch you in the mouth. They're already playing in snow up there, you know. So, no, I don't know if it snowed yet.
It did. The mountains, we're supposed to get some snow today. Vidlak to throw. Vidlak nowhere to go. Steps out of the pocket, complete. Out to the 28. Pass was caught by Tracy. Junior Tracy has about 3 or 4 catches here tonight, and he has a 3rd and short coming up for his team here.
So I like that. I like letting Vidlak get outside the pocket and create. I mean, I'm not going to say he is, but he kind of reminds me of Johnny Manziel, right? Athletic, creating some stuff, improvising a little bit. Unfortunately, you just look at how many players that Weiser's dropping, and they're just blanketing this field. So he's going to have to start forcing, maybe approaching the line of scrimmage, getting one of those defenders to bite, maybe stop the run. But I like getting him outside of the pocket.
Get him outside the pocket again here. 3rd and short. Vidlak on the move. Pass caught. Tracy again. 1st down to the 38.
Sidearm throw, and he slings it in there. Tracy, like we said, great hands. Toe tap that, and that's exactly what we talked about, getting him outside of the pocket. What he's doing is he's leaving probably 8 defenders away on the other side of the field and only having to read 3 defenders. And if he has a man that's busting open, he can throw it to the open spot. But a lot of that has to do with the movement and creating some of those lanes for Vidlak. He's not the tallest guy out there, and if you get him outside of the pocket, he's able to see the field a little bit better.
1 minute and 3 seconds to go before the half. Fruitland on the move. Vidlak to throw. He's going to throw a bomb down the near side. Has a man, led him too far. It went out of bounds. Pass lands out of bounds as he was looking for Philpott.
Yeah, Philpott. Ball wasn't there. But if you're critiquing a route run, Philpott does not need to keep running with his hands out and like turning back and stutter stepping. And Vidlak should have just led him more to the inside of the field. He had beaten his man. Rule of thumb is if you beat your man, if the man's beaten, you can throw it to the inside of the field. If he's running step for step with you, you have to throw it to the outside shoulder. He threw it way too far to the outside shoulder.
So much so that the ball, I don't even think it was catchable. It was out of bounds.
First time, though, I think we've seen Fruitland roll the dice.
Take a shot. Yeah, and they have to. They're going to have to lose it. Look how deep these safeties are.
We're going to try a jet sweep. This is Spencer trying to find the corner. This is Spencer Tracy. He's up to the 42.
Yeah, and I like that, right? You're attacking him from multiple angles. Tracy's got some wheels and letting him get on the edge. And again, now it's a 3rd and 6 situation, a little bit more manageable. I like the idea of rolling him out to the near side, letting him throw coming to his right. You got that whole field, balls on the far hash.
3rd and 6, 49 seconds to go before the half. Big spot here in this first half.
Yeah, they're going to have to start. Did he go out of bounds? Okay, clock is stopped. 49 seconds it is.
Empty set here for Vidlak. 2 receivers to each side, man in motion. Gonna try jet sweep now to the near side. Trying to look for somewhere to go. Just getting up to the 45, leaning forward to the 46. 2 yards short of the first down is Fruitland. So 4th down coming up. Clock moving here at 35 seconds.
So the coach in me, the conservative coach, says punt it, pin him deep. They haven't done anything. They haven't beat you. They think they have 2 timeouts, 27 seconds. They're a running team. Let's scrap it. Let's start again in the second half. Now, the fun coach in me.
The Madden coach.
The Madden coach in me says, let's give it a go. All we have to do is run a 3-yard drag route, hit our guy, let's line up, spike the ball, take a couple more shots.
Yeah, this is a very important down because if you embrace that fun Madden coach and you go for it but you don't get it, you're giving Weiser the ball back in plus territory, about like probably would be like the 40, anywhere from like the 40 to the 45-yard line in plus territory. So it's a bit of a gamble, but if you do get it, you can again spike that ball and keep the clock going. I'm not sure how many timeouts that
2.
Fruitland has. They have 2 timeouts.
2 timeouts. Both of them have 2 timeouts.
So
but
they can't stop the clock.
They can't, but at this point I say punt it. There's no reason to give them the ball this, especially with the way that Weiser's been moving the ball. They move the ball 15 yards, 20 yards of possession. They end up punting it. So, yeah, there we go. That's a right call.
Jamison, the punter, back out on the field. Jamison was the one who got that jet sweep on that last play as well.
Well, I approve of this play call. My name's Ryan Luke, and I approve of this play call. That's for the campaign season that we're seeing right now.
That's right. It is campaign season. This punt's away. Takes a bounce at the 25, rolls up to the 29. 19 seconds left to play in this first half.
All right, Madden coach says take a shot. Real ball coach says take an E.
And I feel like if you're Weiser here, I think they're going to be more on the conservative side and just take a knee or maybe run the ball once, get it to halftime. Still notched at 0. No offense. Offenses that have scored a lot, especially during each team's respective winning streaks. Nothing to show on the scoreboard for either team, and there have still been no big offensive plays. We've seen some shots be taken, but to no avail, there's been nothing to show for it.
I can't remember the last time I've seen a scoreless game at halftime at the high school level.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Absolutely. You and I have done a ton of games, and we've seen some shootouts. We did the 7-6 loss last year, Eagle to
we did.
Coeur d'Alene, and that was probably the lowest scoring game.
Cook's going to take a shot, throws this one down the far side, passes incomplete. It's a jump ball down that far sideline. Sutton Fitch was the one that had the best shot at it. He was the defender there for Fruitland. 14 seconds.
Yeah, Weiser's just not built for this. This is not in their wheelhouse. Obviously, if you're a coach, you want to try and teach your guys the ability to do this because you never know when you're going to need it when the game's on the line. But the game is not on the line at this point, and take an E. Walk away. But I'm no fun. You know what? Sling it. Send it a couple more times. Let's see what we can get out of this.
There's 14 seconds.
Come
they got
on.
A couple timeouts. Yeah, they can make some magic
Let's
happen.
go.
See what they decide to do here with 14 seconds. 2nd and 10. They are in a shotgun. Cook's going to throw it again. Here comes the pressure. Cook escapes. Still on his feet, finding some room at the 40. Still on his feet as he hits midfield. And then popped at the 50. And then pushing and shoving afterwards. This one is going to be on Fruitland. As that was Coy Kaufman who just pushed Cook back to the grass. Right after that play, you can see the frustration. But I do want to make a point as they're sorting this out. Almost a strip sack for Fruitland.
Yeah, in the backfield.
Cook escaped the pocket.
Yeah, and just not able to bring him down. That was big number 72 who got in the backfield. That was Kelvin Obot who got back there, and he bulldozed Cobb. He trucked Cobb. There we go. That's the term. He trucked Cobb to get to him and almost had the strip sack. And a little bit of frustration. And I don't know why Kaufman was so frustrated on that. I mean, it's not. I mean, unless there's some jawing and chirping going on that we don't know about that we're not hearing, but absolutely going to give him 15 more yards and 2 seconds. Now it's a manageable shot.
Yeah, you could take a shot here as this one's going to be at the 35.
Or why don't you just tee it up and let your kicker see what he has?
Yeah, why not?
You got nothing to lose.
Oh, yeah, you can get points on the board. I mean, that drive went from, we were just saying that drive went from pretty much running the ball once and going into halftime to the biggest play of the game so far and 15 yards tacked onto it with the, I would assume, like unnecessary roughness call at the end.
Yeah, or an unsportsmanlike. I mean, however you want to chalk it up. Now the kicker for Weiser, Diego Delgadillo, has made long field goals before. I did their game against Homedale a couple weeks ago. Granted, a lot of wind that night, and he has back to the wind. But he hit one from about 45 yards with his back to the wind.
So the ball's on the 30.
Would have been good from 50 probably.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So 17 yards from the, let's do the math here. That's at 35, so 45, 47-yarder.
Maybe they won't give it a shot. Maybe that's why they
I would
timeout.
Absolutely put a chance. I mean, with the way this game's going, 3 points could be absolutely huge.
This is an interesting formation being shown by the Fruitland defense here. Looks like they got like 4 safeties back there. 3 safeties back there, 2 boundary corners, and 3 pass rushers.
They are going to sling it deep. Cook takes the snap, steps up, lets it go. Towards the goal line, it's going to be deflected and incomplete.
Well,
Tesla Didak had an opportunity at an interception, but we've reached the end of the first half, deadlocked at 0.
And made it much more fun to watch than just taking a knee. So same result, 0-0, but a lot more fun towards the end of that. Hey, look, maybe it sparked some life, who knows, but right now both offenses not looking very crisp. Weiser been able to run the ball, but that's been between, we'll give it the 30s maybe, and outside of that, not a lot more going on or not a lot working for both sides.
Step aside here on IdahoSports.com. It is halftime here on senior night at Fruitland High School, 0-0 as we head to the break.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
This year, help dreams come true with the Ideal Idaho 529 Education Savings.
Where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange, and not all our steaks are ribeyes. But wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road. Belts strapped and dreams packed, no distractions, no phones, focused. From here,
Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
This year, help dreams come true with the Ideal Idaho 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits, ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, K-12 education, and student loan repayment. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org if you would like to learn more.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
This year, help dreams come true with the Ideal Idaho 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits, ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, K-12 education, and student loan repayment. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org if you would like to learn more.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric.
MyQuit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start MyQuit to 36072.
Let's talk about open enrollment for health insurance. Your Health Idaho's got you covered with all you need to know. Open enrollment is the time of year.
Halftime of a scoreless game here at Fruitland High School. It's Weiser 0 and Fruitland 0. The battle of defenses here tonight, as you see the Fruitland Marching Band giving its last regular season performance of the year here at halftime. It is Treasure Valley game night here on IdahoSports.com. It's presented by Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, and Your Health Idaho. Additional coverage on IdahoSports.com, also presented by Meridian Plumbing and Lookout Credit Union. Also, we want to thank the Southwest District Health and their Partnership for Success program. Did you know that kids don't drink alcohol or use drugs? In fact, the majority actually choose to stay substance-free. And in Idaho, approximately 9 out of 10 kids are not drinking or using drugs. Parents, did you know that talking with your kids about your expectations for them to not drink or use drugs is one of the most important things you can do for your kids to make healthy choices? And teens, did you know that most of your friends and peers, they actually don't drink or use drugs? Know that you're making the healthiest choice and the most common choice by being substance-free. That message, again, brought to you by Southwest District Health and the Partnership for Success program. All right, so not a whole lot to unpack here offensively, gentlemen. It's been 3 total possessions between these two teams combined, or 3 possessions each, 6 combined possessions. For Weiser, punt, turnover on downs, punt. Fruitland, punt, punt, punt. That's been it. It's been a war between the 30s, basically.
Did you know, if we're keeping with the the read there, did you know that both of these teams cannot get anything going offensively? It is mind-boggling to me that these 2 different offenses, and that's okay because Weiser has their identity and Fruitland has their identity, but the result is the exact same, and they cannot get anything going. And so I don't know if it's more credit to the defense. I would say right now for Fruitland, they're more shooting themselves in the foot. I think, what is that, 8 penalties?
I think it was 8 penalties in that first half. I think 7 by the offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. So 7, 8, yeah, because there was a personal foul at the end. So 8 penalties, Fruitland just shooting themselves in the foot. Weiser, on the other hand, just not able to get anything going. Yeah, they'll run, They had a couple of plays. They ran the reverse pass that got sacked that killed the drive. They had the penalty that killed their drive. When they get behind the sticks, Weiser's just having a tough time digging themselves out. Anything long, third and long, second and long, is really difficult to overcome. That's why you have to play very, very disciplined football with this Weiser offense.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you're saying we had to pick a winner, we would say Weiser just because they haven't been shooting themselves in the foot like Fruitland has. Again, this Fruitland offense, the quarterback who was an honorable, I believe, state team, honorable all-state team as a freshman.
All-conference, honorable mention, yeah.
Yeah, and then
as a freshman.
And then his sophomore year, he's had a great season, but this game, he just can't get anything rolling. And it's very mind-boggling, as you said, Ryan, that neither offense can really produce any sort of yards or offense, especially on senior night and for this Grizzlies home crowd here.
Yeah, here's a little bit of what these teams have done offensively this year. Both teams average about 40 points a game, just shy of it. Weiser, we'll start with them. Here's been some of their offensive outputs this season. Last week, 59 points against Coal Valley Christian. A couple weeks ago when they beat top-ranked Homedale at home, 30 points. 27 points against a McCall Donnelly defense that only gives up 10 points a game. They scored 70 at Pendleton back in September. 61 against Melba. Those are some of the offensive outputs that Weiser has had. On the other side for Fruitland, you have 41 against Payette, 61 against Coal Valley Christian, 54 against New Plymouth, 35 against 5A Emmett. Zeros at halftime.
Zeros, and that's, what do they call it? That's what happens when you have an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. I don't know. Whatever the saying is, both of them are playing good football teams. One football team's playing another really good football team, and it shows. Now, I would argue defensively they're better than they are on offense for both sides. Now, the other half of that is, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. These are two really good football teams, but those offensive outputs are against the bottom half of this 4A conference, of the 4A division.
Some of those bigger ones.
Some of the bigger ones, yeah. And like you said, Emmett's a little bit of a down year in the 5A division. In fact, Emmett's really not that much bigger. It was interesting. I was just looking at the stats, and we said these guys, both of these schools average about 540 students. Emmett's only at about almost 700 students. So not that much bigger. They are playing. They're one of the smaller schools in the 5A division. But, again, they've always – they've had Bishop Kelly's number. They played BK really well. We know what kind of juggernaut BK is. But it's tough to play the whole, hey, this team beat this team that beat this team that beat this team. Because at the end of the day, you'd have somebody at the 1A ranks beating somebody at the 5A ranks. That's just kind of how it rolls. But, and I don't want to take anything away from both of these teams. I think the adjustments in the second half are obviously going to determine the direction of this game. Offensively, what's going to be different? Because defensively, both of these coaches, both sides, have made the adjustments, blitzing in the gaps.
We got to go to next week to decide who wins this conference.
But Weiser's won a state championship since then. They didn't win the conference.
They just didn't win the conference.
Yeah, they've won two, I want to say, didn't they?
They won it the 1 year Sugar didn't. Weiser won it. I think it was 2021, maybe?
Yeah. But I think since 2005, I want to say Weiser did win it in 17, maybe? I can't remember.
A lot of state championships to their name.
Yeah, well, Weiser, and I talked about Hans Olsen earlier, and he went on and played professional football at multiple levels, but he was like a beast, and I know they won, but he was in the mid-90s. I wasn't here in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
I'm from the other side of the state. Shelley, to be honest with you. I'm from Shelley, if anybody knows where that is. And but, yeah, do you have that? Do you see what
Weiser 3 state championships, 87, 97, 2021.
That's right. So it was a 97. So that would have been Hans's year. Yep.
But Weiser, like I said, won it basically the 1 year that Sugar didn't win it. They had to go through Sugar to even get to that state championship. Sugar has just run this classification for the last decade.
Yeah.
Basically, Sugar state championships 2018, 2019, 2020. Not in 2021, but they did win it in 22 and 23. Both of these schools probably sick of us talking about Sugar Salem, as well as the rest of this division.
Well, you want to talk about the difference a program makes and just the winning culture. Sugar Salem was not that way, and they flipped the switch, and it's just, a lot of those kids have gone on and graduated, gone to high school, but the winning culture's still there. And I would argue both of these schools do have a winning culture. I mean, Fruitland's been really good historically. Obviously, it had to go to. In fact, they played 2 state championships. That's right. Fruitland's played against Sugar Salem in 2 state championships during that run. And obviously, Weiser winning the one and always being perennially there. I mean, it's a semifinal or bust for both of these teams practically. See if they can get things going now.
Yeah, and the school in this conference that is kind of left out of that state championship parade and has been so close but just can't get past Sugar, Homedale. Oh, man. Yeah, Homedale, and you got to be. I mean, that's like the if you go to the 6A conference now, the historic 5A, but now the 6A, that was Rocky Mountain for about 4 years, right? Yeah,
Everybody,
right. Yeah.
Looking and trying to knock them. Or Rigby for the last few years, and trying to do that. It's just a painful looking ahead. Now, if you're a good football team, you're a good coach, you point your kids in the right direction. Say, hey, we want them. We want to beat the best. We want to give them their all, because then that shows the type of team that we are. But boy, talk about a thorn in your side.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, we want to thank Meridian Plumbing, the Treasure Valley's top choice when it comes to your plumbing needs. For 40 years, Meridian Plumbing has been serving new home builds, remodels, farms, businesses all over the Treasure Valley. After your first service call with Meridian Plumbing, it'll be easy to see why thousands of customers return year in and year out for all their plumbing needs. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Meridian Plumbing offering a no-charge dispatch fee. Now search for your permanent plumber. Just one call or click away. That's Meridian Plumbing. Choose the safe, local plumber. Choose Meridian Plumbing. Just moments away from the second half kick here in Fruitland, scoreless between Fruitland and Weiser. Second half coming up after this.
Let's talk about open.
Just moments away here from the second half kickoff. And off air, we had a very interesting discussion, probably the most important one we've had all night.
Yeah, Zach, take it.
Yeah, you got opinions. Who wins a fight, a Grizzly or a Wolverine?
So if we're talking about just the 1v1, like you're taking a Grizzly, I'm doing Grizzly Bear versus a Wolverine, obviously the Grizzly Bear is going to take. I know the Wolverine's a little scrappy, it's smaller, but in the end it's a Grizzly Bear. The Grizzly Bear is probably the most feared bear and probably the most ferocious bear out of all the bear species. But if you got a pack of
Kodiak, come on, dude, or a polar bear, come on.
Polar bear. Okay, polar bears are pretty.
But Grizzlies are pretty ferocious. I'll give you that.
But if we're talking a pack of Wolverines, and I'm pretty sure Wolverines do travel in packs.
No, they're solo, but it doesn't matter. Let's say it's like a clan, right? They find their family, and there's a clan. Okay, so clan of Wolverines, go.
Oh, then I'm taking the clan of Wolverines.
Oh,
100%,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And the clan of Wolverines, I think, easily take down that Grizzly Bear, probably within like a minute, if not less.
Well, apparently they're Scottish, so Scottish Wolverines.
It's going to be the Grizzlies that start this second half battle with the ball. It's going to take a bounce at the 18. Trying to look for somewhere to go between the hash marks. There's that pack of Wolverines, and this drive will start at the 28.
I like clan.
Clan?
There's a clan of Wolverines.
Yeah.
I could hear the smile on your voice. Yeah, it's starting to get a little slick. What happens is when that condensation, the temperature drops, it gets a little slick. And I remember playing one game, and back then the turf was not the same. We played on AstroTurf for the state championship, but we played on grass. We had to swap out from those basically half-inch cleats. We put 1-inch cleats in at halftime when it was starting at the end of the season. So removable spikes, I don't think they're going to be doing that, but watch. Footing could become a factor as this thing wears on.
On natural grass here at Fruitland. Fruitland's going to start with this on the ground. Tesla Vidak is up across the 30, pushing the pile down to the 35. He has a first down, gain of 12.
Hey, run game, I like it. Trying to do something different, maybe eat some clock and keep the defense out the field. Unfortunately, the truth is the majority of these kids go both ways. So they're going to be on the field one way or another, but it's always better to deliver the blow than to take the blow.
Good drive starter there for Fruitland. Out of the gate here in the second half. Back to test they go. Left side breaks a tackle, can't break the second. There for the stop is Sarek.
Yeah, Sarek, very clean tackle, squared him up, got low, spun him down, and it was one-on-one. If he beats that, If he beats that tackle, there's a lot of green space in front of him.
2nd down and 8.
And that was a solo Wolverine.
Yep.
Not the clan.
Vidlac directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. He's got trips to the right, single left here on 2nd and 8.
Yeah, this is the same formation where they throw the screen.
Philpott, the man in motion, tries to pick up the man off the edge, thrown into the flat. That's Tess again, makes the catch this time. He's down to the 41. Tess Nalidek again with another touch. He's carried it twice, has a catch.
Yeah, Tess, and we've seen Vidlac on the night. He's been his best when he's been able to roll to one side or the other. And a lot of that has to do with this defense. And they're only rushing 2 to 3 people. They're dropping 8, and that is incredibly difficult to deal with.
They go back to Tess Nalidek, and this time he's popped at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Well, the other advantage as I'm watching this is instead of, you know, you have 2 guys, maybe 3 if they're rushing 3, you have men coming downhill defensively, hitting hard, filling those gaps, gives them a chance in the second to read where that's going. They're able to fill that. If they were to run the same offense that Weiser runs, they'd be able to blow them off the ball and do it, but they're just not built for that. Obviously, don't practice that offense. Oh, guess what?
Another punt.
Oh, there it is.
Tess Nalidek was stuffed on that 3rd and 5, brings up a 4th and 5. Timeout Weiser. So Weiser using a timeout early here in this second half. Must have seen something they didn't like in that punt formation.
Yeah, it's an interesting timeout to call. I mean, we're only 2 minutes and 15 seconds into this quarter, and you rarely, at least for me, you rarely see a timeout called early on unless the play clock's running out or there's just so much miscommunication out there. But I wonder if Weiser was expecting a fake because, again, this would have been punt number 4 for Fruitland. And, again, this offense just still, they had a great first play, but this offense after that just stalls out. It's like the game's been on like loop. Like we've been seeing the same thing for the most part again and again and again.
Yeah, you got that right. Yes, we have. Been playing the same 6-minute drive, 2-minute drive, 3-minute drive.
Well, that opening drive for Weiser, they ate up a ton of clock. They were able to move the ball, but, I mean, there were no chunk plays. It took them three downs to get the first down every time, and they were able to eat up a ton of that clock. But to your point, Zach, looks like we're on replay here. It's on loop.
Jamison on to punt this here for Weiser. Good punt this time from Jamison. Sends Gray back to his 20. And here comes a block in the back. Flag there at the 20 as Gray received it down to the 20, 35 he goes. But this is coming back.
Yeah, that was fairly obvious. Okay, it was incredibly obvious. Got him in the back there, it negates it. But, hey, Weiser's going to take over. Honestly, I think the field position game, not that it doesn't play a big deal before, but with these 2 offenses that are struggling to create anything downfield, there are no big chunk plays, field position is going to be huge of who gets close enough because we talked about it. It may be a field goal away, right? This thing may be a field goal to the end.
Field goal or a turnover. There's been no turnovers other than the turnover on downs. No interceptions, no fumbles so far.
Is that too conservative play calling? Maybe. No more shots. I mean, look, Vidlac, a ton of experience. He's coming into the end of his 2nd season and making good decisions with the football. Just not a lot there and available for him to push it down the field. On the opposite, there was almost that interception at the end of the half. Remember?
Yeah, yep.
On the Hail Mary.
And the strip sack.
And the strip sack.
This drive starts at the 10. It's Colin Cook, the Weiser quarterback, back out on the field. Here's Cobb up the middle, and he's got some room down the far sideline. The 40 to the 50. Cuts back at the 40. It dropped. Still on his feet down the sideline. Touchdown, Weiser.
Wow.
Cobb goes 90 yards.
What a fine piece of running. Followed his blockers, set him up, slowed down. Was able to get a couple blocks ahead of him because there were some people chasing him down. And just when I said field position because it may come down to a field goal, Cobb says, no thank you, I'm going to go ahead and score this thing.
We're just about to bring up how I feel like you both have heard of like the broadcaster's curse or whenever they bring up something, the opposite happens. That happened right there. And I thought Cobb was tackled down at like the 40-yard line.
I thought he was too.
But he, for some reason, broke out of that and outrun the whole Fruitland defense to score.
Yeah, just so you guys know, up here, we have some Weiser folks next to us up at the top. They slipped me a 20 to do the broadcaster.
Yeah. Hey, say something about the offense.
Yeah, right. Say something about outfield position. No, I mean, look, Cobb did a really good job. It was nothing new, the same play, and that's what happens. You hit him, punch him in the mouth. And we talked about it. I said it from the very beginning. It's in the second half that the run game really pays off. That defense gets tired. They're looking one way. Maybe you run a counter to the opposite hole, something like that. And you saw that there were a couple of Fruitland players that were hustling down to make that, but he did a good job of slowing down, allowing his blockers to catch up, took him out, kept his feet, and took it into the end zone.
So Cash Cobb breaks the scoring spell. 90-yard touchdown run by Cobb, the senior. Dak, you said it looked like he was tackled at the 40. You thought he was tackled. I thought he was tackled, and then he just popped out of it, out of the pile,
he
kept running.
Popped out of that pile. I say this at every broadcast, but he especially driving those knees up and keeping those legs churning, and that's very important, especially for an in-between runner like him. It's very important he keeps those knees running, and in this weather as it gets colder, that might be more difficult, but not for Cobb that time.
Whistle as this kick sails off the tee. And they're going to bring this back, and they're going to do it again.
What, a penalty? Shocking.
Yeah, right. And a lot of penalties on both sides here tonight.
So I want to see how Fruitland responds to this. You put your head down. I mean, it's only a touchdown. And it was bound to happen. Somebody was going to score. But the adjustments, and we talked about both sides, what are the adjustments going to be specifically on offense? I don't know if there was much of an adjustment from Weiser. It was the same play. They ran that. Depends if he's the 2 or the 3 back, but we're going to call him the 3 back. He just ran a 34 dive, essentially 34 lead, and there was a pulled from the opposite side and went up the hole and just kept his feet. But for Fruitland, are they going to roll Vidlac out? They've already had one possession, really didn't show much. What are the adjustments going to be here?
So I don't know why they stopped that last kick. But
they didn't whistle the play to go. They didn't send it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. From the 20, return of just about 4 yards.
Yeah, Weiser's fired up, their whole sideline. I mean, their crowd, you look, they have a rope cordoning off.
Yeah, fans get to just
Fans.
stand on the track even.
They're bringing their chairs. Kind of a cool setting. You and I have done a lot of those 6A games. We've done state championship games, and that is not this.
No.
That is not this. It's
Yeah.
cool setting. Great environment.
Yeah, it's a little different when you start doing these 4A games. You know, you get stuck on top of the press box where some of the games we do at the 6As, you know, there's a nice heater and a closed press box next to us. And
Eagle, what?
Yeah, right. I joke that they bring us steak dinners, but, I mean, they might as well, you know.
They had snacks and food, and I'm just saying, Fruitland, we'd gladly accept it. Wait, what? Did I say that out loud?
1st and 10 here from the 25. Vidlac to throw over the middle. That pass is caught across the 35 down to the 40. Pickup of 15 there for Kaufman.
Yeah, good response, and I like that. It was a longer developing play. Kaufman had to clear the other receiver. They ran crossing routes, and he came open underneath. So it took him a minute, but the boys up front blocking really well on that play, only rushing 2 to 3 players at a time. He should have all the time in the world to sit back and pick this defense apart.
Back to test they go, and Weiser was ready for it. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I mean, it's not, they're not there yet, but I would say at some point you got to scrap the run, and you got to throw the football.
You got to trust your sophomore quarterback here. I mean, he's starting for a reason. I've hardly ever seen quarterbacks start on this varsity team and playing games like this as a sophomore. Juniors and obviously seniors much more common, but you got to trust this guy. He's starting for a reason.
Hasn't really made a mistake yet tonight either as he rolls out to the far side, steps up in the pocket. Vidlac's going to take off across the 50, down to the 40, to the 30, pushed out of bounds at the 25. And a late flag comes in. That was Colin Cook who helped him out of bounds Had a hand up by the face mask.
Yeah, it's
we'll
going to
see
be
what
a
the
face
flag
mask. Yeah, it's going to be a face mask. We talked about it. I said I like him in the pocket, doing some stuff with his legs. He's a good athlete. He is a throw first, run second, but they may need to alter that, especially when they're running that. They did. Now, what I want to point out was it was a great blitz pickup. They blitzed him off the edge. You know, they've been creeping a guy back and forth. And number 51, I'm going to shout out to him. That was Evan Davis, the junior. He was able to pick up the blitz and pushed him wide. Vidlak stepped up, saw tons of green grass. Was able to get upfield, pick up a huge chunk. Hey, chunk plays. Here we go, second half. Adjustments, put the ball in Vidlak's hands.
I know we've seen 2 chunk plays in just about 4 minutes of one quarter than we did the whole entire first half.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys, this is fun now. You see that? Picking up yards.
Get some chunk plays, some big plays, and both offenses looking the best that they've looked all night so far. It's a first and 10 from the 12 here for Fruitland.
Yeah, they could pick up a first down. But I would say offensively, whoa, Vidlak under center. What is this?
A toss on the end around, and it's going nowhere. Going backwards, back to the 20.
Yeah, try to get creative. I don't mind the play. In fact, there's enough room. If they were up near the goal line, absolutely not, but they are far enough out. Try to get creative on that. Unfortunately, what you have is Weiser, who is running that unorthodox defense, and it looks like a defender is not going to be rushing, not going to be getting upfield, so the offensive lineman doesn't put a body on him all the time.
Second down and 14 now. Back to the shotgun they go. Vidlak rolls near side. Vidlak, here comes the pressure, floats one out to the flat, just a little too high for Kaufman.
Vidlak didn't get his feet right. He was turned too far this way. Wasn't able to square his shoulders and throw it. So he was throwing across his body, so he wasn't able to turn out. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and you know, Lucas, you and I, we had Brandon Huffman on last night on our show, The Fighting Taters, and he's a big recruiting guy, and he talks about you know, who's what, when, where, and how, and we had a great conversation. Went for about an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a hidden gem on this field right now, who doesn't probably, it's just a junior, is Kelvin Obot. He's 6'5", 270, playing offensive line, defensive line. He moves really, really well. He's a kid that I think sneakily could be playing at the next level.
3rd and 15 to the end zone. They go incomplete. They were looking for Philpott in coverage. Xander Gray for Weiser.
Yeah, Xander Gray made a great play. You watch him, and he was timing it up, and as soon as the ball got there, he just, you know, had the one hand on him to know where the receiver was. Turned, got his hand up, knocked it away. Very clean, great technique by number 3.
I think that's probably my favorite phrase in any of sports is calling a play or a textbook. Like they do a textbook play, they make a textbook whatever. That was, I'm going to say it again, that was a textbook defensive play right there. The cornerback reading where the ball is, not panicking, keeping his eyes up, and getting that left hand out to just simply knock that ball away. Wasn't trying to be a hero, not trying to get the interception, but just doing his job on forcing a 4th down here. And now, since it is 4th and 15, do you go for it? Is this 4-down territory? Or do you just send your kicker out there to just get you some points, to say, all right, guys, we got down the field, we got points, not what we wanted, but hey, we're on the board. It's still a 1-possession game.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's kind of that tough spot of the field. I don't know how good.
I don't know how good the kicker is.
Yeah.
I mean, if the kicker's any kind of good, you send him out there and you put some points on the board.
The difference in this game so far, a 90-yard Cash Cobb touchdown run. That is all the scoring that we've had here tonight. 4th and 15 coming up here for Fruitland once they break this timeout. 7:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. Weiser trying to win its first conference championship since 2005 here tonight.
Well, and more importantly, that puts you on the other side of the bracket from Sugar Salem.
Yeah, I mean, the more games you can win, the better your ranking, and you don't want to be on the same side as them. They're going to go for it. Vidlak still on his feet, still looking. Vidlak has some room down the far side.
Got to throw it. No, he's past the line of scrimmage.
Floats it to the end zone. It's incomplete. There are no flags on the field, but it's
Yeah.
a turnover on downs for Weiser. Vidlak extended that play as far as he could.
And unfortunately, he ran past the line of scrimmage. He saw he was past it, tried to take a step back, tried to get back behind the line of scrimmage, but it was a late flag. But the Weiser coaching staff just yelling, it's going to be a legal forward pass. That's where he moves his hand behind his back.
And you could see Vidlak, he threw that ball, and as soon as that flag was thrown, like he slammed the ground. Like he was visibly frustrated that he knew he was beyond the line of scrimmage, but instinct as a quarterback, you just have to throw it up, especially on a big 4th and 15 play like this. You just have to try making a play, but you said right, Ryan, he tried to take a step back, but he was already past that line. So late flag comes in, and what looked to be a promising drive will end in 0 points here for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, so that's just got to be frustrating as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that. So the other observation on that one, that unorthodox defense, they rushed 2. So he was throwing against 9 guys. Nobody was open. Absolutely nobody was open.
1st and 10 for Weiser after the turnover on downs. Again, they try it. Cobb down the sideline. Here comes a late flag as Cobb was hit out of bounds.
No, that was a quarterback keeper on that one. Cook. I believe that was Cook. Yeah. He ran the option. They ran that speed option to the far side. They're going to get a late hit, but that's tough. I mean, if he keeps his feet. Look, was he going out of bounds? Did he push him out of bounds? Yeah, it's a tough one. But again, another penalty.
And it's going to be 15 yards.
You know, what I'm seeing is listen, Weiser's no joke.
Yeah,
Weiser, they're the real deal.
Yeah.
They lost to Buell. I think it was like 7-6, one of their first games. So they lost to Buell that first game, and then they turned around. They lost to Lakeland, which is a 5A school, and it was at Lakeland, and then they turned around from there and started playing the rest of this 4A. This 4A classification and just have run roughshod over them, and they do it. I mean, talk about physical.
Yeah, that game against Buell was 9-6.
9-6, okay.
As Cook is still on his feet, down to the 45, another first down, pick up a 13.
Oh, my man, Obot had him in the backfield, and Cook just showing that strength to break that tackle. He's able to get upfield.
But, kind of a similar game, that Buell game, to what we have here tonight. Low scoring. Weiser couldn't come out on top, but that was in August. That was August 29th.
Yeah, it's beginning first game of the season. By the way, how is Buell? I haven't followed them. Click on those guys. Tell me what they're looking like.
Yeah, Buell's having a good year. They're in the top 5. They're ranked 4th in the state media poll. Actually got a first-place vote as this one stopped up the middle.
Yeah, so no shame in that loss, so to speak. Talk about plays there. They ran the run blitz. The linebacker, that was number 2. That was Jace Moorhorst, and he was able to get in, knock him. This is what you're going to have to do. We talked about putting them in 3rd and long situations. Not a team built to be from behind the sticks.
2nd and 10. Under 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. Cook's going to throw. Cook on the move, delivers to the outside, incomplete.
Incomplete. Solid defensive play. This is number 14, Brigham Walker, and Walker came in, knocked the ball away right at the last minute, but he didn't have him wrapped up from behind. It was a clean play. Cook is not known to throw the ball. He's sufficient in terms of throwing the ball, but what he does do is he runs an efficient offense, and he gets it to the right place at the right time. A lot of people say, hey, if it's a run team, it's easy as a quarterback, but it's not. You got to know where to fake the handoff, where to go, who to give it to at what time.
3rd and 10, shotgun here for Cook. Sarek, the man in motion to the near side. Keeper here for Cook, up to the 40, brought down, leaves about 5 yards left. Here comes another late flag.
That one might be a face mask. I didn't see a number on Fruitland, but there might have been the grabbing of Cook's face mask when he was being brought to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I thought maybe they're going to get him for being too aggressive and throwing him to the ground. And hopefully they're not just flagging everybody because they think that somebody might have a boo-boo.
Here comes the call as they still sort it out.
Guys, I can see my breath. Yeah. So they threw him to the ground. They're going to call that.
And this Fruitland crowd does not like that call. Now, can you just throw a quarterback to the ground as as any ball carrier has fallen to the ground? No, can't do that. So, pretty obvious call, like something had happened in that pile. Emotions might be running high for this Fruitland team just because, again, you had a chance to score, you didn't take advantage, and now Weiser is driving down the field and going to make this a two-possession game if they can finish the drive.
Yeah, big spot here defensively for Fruitland. Back to the ground they go with Cobb. Cobb to the 21.
Tough run between the guards at that point, but between the tackles. I felt like it was a ticky-tack personal foul. And I can be a critic because that's what my job is. I get paid. Not very much. In fact, very little. But enough to where I'm a professional, I can say that. But that's okay. You got to know better now. Look, there's some beef up front for Fruitland, and they're really trying to dig their heels in here.
2nd down and 6. Toss to the near side. They come across the 20 down to the 18 as Engel gets a carry.
Yeah, Engel's been quiet in the second half. He started off, he was a primary ball carrier for the first drive. Engel more of that scat back, a little quicker to the hole, and Cobb's the guy that they like to run between the tackles and some of those quick hitters. That's a fun play, and that's a kind of a throwback play. They toss it, and then the quarterback, Cook, he is one of the lead blockers as well. He heads upfield and tries to create some space, and all they're doing is just getting a big push forward, and they're okay with picking up those 3 or 4 yards at a time.
3rd down and 3. Sarek in motion. Back to Cobb they go, up the middle. And he has the first down across the 15 down to the 13. 1st and 10, Weiser.
And Weiser finding something that they're liking here. We talked about wearing out the defense, and we're seeing it in the second half. And they do it. They're tacticians, I guess is the term that we're going to use, that I'm going to use at least.
Yeah.
They're tacticians in where they're running the ball, and the majority, the big chunk of their yards has come between the tackles.
Yeah, and that's why you rely on a guy like Cash Connor, who had that 90-yard touchdown in between the tackles, and he was breaking tackles out there like Ashton Jency does for Boise State.
He's been doing that a lot lately. Here comes the flag. This is going to push Weiser back 5. So back they go from the 13 to the 18. It's a big 18 yards here to go for Weiser. You feel like a 2-possession game in this game probably feels like it's 4 possessions.
Yeah, well, the way that the clock is running, if you're playing against a running team, you shorten the game, and absolutely to your point, it's a big possession. If they can hold them to a field goal attempt here, Fruitland, we're saying, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
Get the ball back, be able to march down. You've shown that you can move the ball now.
It's just that consistency. You need to be able to do that on multiple drives, not just one.
Shotgun set here on 1st and 15. Quarterback keeper on the right side. Cook gets those 5 yards, at least most of them, back. Gained about 4.
Yeah, I think a really important point you guys were talking about, like how long you keep the ball, like time of possession is going to be very important as well. Like we were talking about, like you shorten the game up for the defense, you tire them out. That's a big strength, and especially Weiser, who is a run-heavy team, that's working in their favor. And we are 2.5 minutes away from this third quarter being over, and Weezer's done exactly what they wanted. That was probably their game plan, on just run the ball in between the tackles and keep that clock moving.
2nd and 11. Cook still in the shotgun set. Sarek in motion, twins right. Cook will throw. Cook on the move, delivers, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands.
Ricky Cisneros.
Yep.
Yeah, Cisneros, he broke on that. He ran flat underneath the route, and he was reading Cook that whole play. And the route, that was your motion man that came across, cut up field 5 yards, and he was running that flat out. And Cisneros, again, step for step with him, baited him almost, said, hey, throw it here.
Yeah. That's probably 6 the other way, too, if Cisneros comes up with that.
Yeah, Weiser really likes, when they do throw the ball, they really like those like motion out flat routes. And I think they've been running it enough on most of their pass plays where Fruitland, especially Cisneros, recognized he's motioning out, he's running a 5-yard flat route to the far sideline. I got a chance here, and he almost made a huge play for Fruitland.
3rd and 11. Draw. Cobb up the middle. Cobb still on his feet. Reaching for the goal line. Has the first down to the 1.
Ooh, that's a backbreaker for Fruitland. They had him. They had some arms on him. He went through arm tackles. Got the first down. Now you have four downs to punch it in from the 1-yard line.
Interesting formation we're seeing. Trips running backs.
Tempo for Weiser. Cook on the quarterback keeper. No signal yet. And he's short. Second and goal now.
That looked like a very, and you guys can correct me if I would be in any sort of fashion wrong, but that looked like they were running like a very off-brand tush-push, where they had like the backs behind him, and then everyone just went to go push Cook's back into the end zone. Fortunately, did not work for them, but we honestly might be seeing it again with the same formation.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do anything different.
Cobb on the right side, touchdown. His second touchdown of the night, and Weiser takes a 13-0 lead.
Big score, and specifically now, I mean, that's a 2-score game. The way this clock's been ticking and the lack of efficiency, we'll call it, from the Fruitland offense, a lot to overcome.
Minute 21 to go in this third quarter. Extra point on its way and good. It is 14-0 Weiser. 1:21 left to play. And if Weiser ends up holding on here tonight, I don't know what else they have to do to get some respect in the state media.
Right? I mean, put them at number 5, and I don't know if it's just because they don't like the style of football they play. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a vote. If I did, you know, I approve of this message kind of thing, they'd get my vote. So, but no, Weiser definitely earning some respect tonight, and they're doing it against a very good football team in Fruitland, and honestly, they neutralized them. I mean, Fruitland has been neutralized, and we can see both of these teams, see how good they are because they put up 60, 70 points on teams.
Right.
And able to keep each other in check for the most part tonight.
So if Weiser were to win, we'd be looking at essentially flip-flop schedules where Weiser started out 0-2, wins their next 6 games. Where Fruitland, on the other hand, started out 6-0, and if they lose tonight, they lose their next 2 games, both sitting at 6-2, but very different ways the season has started and gone about for these teams.
Yeah, that's a good point. Delgadillo's short kick down to the 20, catching it off the grass is Fruitland, and up to the 38. That was Killian Wilson on the return. But Weiser, guys, has played 3 of the top 5 teams in the latest state media poll so far. They've already beat Homedale. They're playing Fruitland tonight. And they only lost to Buell by 3.
And they have, Weiser has McCall Donnelly, right?
Yes.
So last game of the season is McCall Donnelly. What's that? Oh, it's Payette next week. Okay.
Oh, you're talking next week. Yeah, Payette next week.
Payette's next week.
They played McCall earlier in the year.
And they beat McCall. Okay.
Vidlak, empty set. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes.
Oh, they got to him. It was that they ran the pressure coming off the edge again. And that was number 5 who got to him, and he's been creeping in and out.
Yeah, Ty Cobb, the nickel corner who's been in on a lot of these like nickel dime packages and being.
Sure, again, down he goes again. Back-to-back sacks for this Wolverine defense.
Wow. That's a big boy right there.
It's Dallin Ashley, the sack this time, 6'3", 240.
Yeah, Dylan Ashley got outfield, and it was just a bull rush. They rushed 3 people. Vidlak, if he would have stepped away, he was about to create some more space looking to his left, but now it's 3rd and a country mile since we're in Fruitland.
3rd and 18, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. In that third quarter, we had a couple Cash Cobb touchdown runs, and Weiser now leads by 14. Well, did you know that most kids don't drink alcohol or use drugs? In fact, the majority stay substance-free. And in Idaho, approximately 9 out of 10 kids are not drinking or using drugs. Parents, did you know that talking to your kids about your expectations for them to not drink alcohol or use drugs is one of the most important things with your kids to make sure they make healthy choices. And teens, did you know that most of your friends and peers don't drink or use drugs? Know that you're making the healthiest choice and the most common choice by being substance-free. A message brought to you by Southwest District Health and the Partnership for Success program.
14-0 here. We'll go heading into the fourth quarter, and a few observations. Here we go. No, observation number one is that the run game is working, obviously, for Weiser, but they've accomplished that by grinding and getting to this point over and over again, doing the same things. Observation number two, a little bit of desperation on the Fruitland side. And you can see that now as they're dropping back, trying to move the ball down the field. They kind of have to.
Two-score game.
But it is a two-score game, absolutely, but a little bit of desperation. And I say that just because of the lack of efficiency and effectiveness on the Fruitland side of the offensive side of the ball.
12 minutes left in this one. Start of the fourth quarter. 3rd and 18 for Vidlak in the Fruitland offense. Vidlak with time, delivers over the middle. Pass caught at the 45, spins out of a tackle. He's close, about a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, and you got to go for it here. You
Kaufman
may not
on the
get.
catch.
Oh, sorry. You may not get too many more possessions. Got to go for it. You're right. Kaufman ran that in route, and you can see what happens when they have good pass protection. Vidlak able to step into his throw, delivered a dart on that in route. That was a deep in.
4th down and 1. Ball between the hash marks here at the 47.
Now, if you don't get it on this 4th down here, the game obviously is not over. The game is not over until it reaches triple zeros, but you are in really desperate times if you do not get this here.
Yeah, they don't need it to keep the game alive, but this would really help. It's timeout taken by Weiser.
Yeah, Weiser doing him a favor here, wanting to talk about it. The play clock was actually running down. I was watching the back judge as he makes eye contact with the referee saying, hey, play clock, and then they start waving their hand, counting it down, and he was getting to that point. So Weiser almost bailing Fruitland out in that situation.
Yeah, 4th and 2. That's what they have up on the scoreboard. The sticks look more like a 4th and 1. So we'll call it a 4th and 1.
That's a 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Who's got eyes down there?
Yeah. So Ryan, do you like a run here with Tess here, or do you want to get Vidlak out of the pocket?
Me? Okay, are we talking the Madden coach? Are we talking
which coach are we
the
talking?
conservative coach? Because it's just Tess. You got to run Tess between the tackles. I run him over the left side. Obot, your left tackle. You got to get behind him. I think he can blow his man off the line for a full 2 yards. But the Madden coach in me, shoot. Yeah, this trips formation here, they've done a good job. Although there are 4 defenders on this side, they've done a good job of. Oh, there you go.
Great option,
Yeah.
1st down. Vidlak has it across
Great.
the 50.
Yep, great call. Absolutely.
Big 1st down for Fruitland. Approaching the 11-minute mark here in this 4th and final quarter on senior night here in Fruitland.
Really, really smart play. I think really, really smart play call right there by keeping Vidlak, keeping the ball with him, and you ran that just basic read option, fake it to Tess, but then he runs to the left side. Runs to that left side, as you said, Ryan, gets the 1st down.
Vidlak now outside the pocket. Still on his feet, hit as he throws, finds a man at the 40, has another 1st down. Kaufman, another catch, another Fruitland 1st down.
Boy, a heck of a throw. It was a jump throw. He threw it back across his body, and that's one of the toughest throws to make because your momentum, everything's carrying you to the right, and he was able to put it on a dime. I didn't think Kaufman was going to be able to get to it. I didn't even think he was going to get to Kaufman, but got enough zip on it.
1st and 10 now at the 39. Back to Tess. You're on a zone play. Gains it with maybe a yard.
Gotta keep him honest. Got to run the ball. Yeah, there's still 10 minutes to go in this game.
10 minutes to go, but we've seen Weiser
eat up 7, 8 minutes at a time.
right, and can score in those 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if you're Fruitland, do you start to think about and consider running a more of like an up-tempo offense and try moving the ball quickly down the field because you know what Weiser can do with the ball in this clock management?
Yeah, it's a good point. I would certainly play with a little more pace than they have been. Don't need to be taking the play clock all the way down. Vidlak, play action on the jet sweep, delivers a strike, incomplete. Had a man at the 20.
Got to have that. He had all the time. He had a personal protector out there, and he had a man wide open. Those are the ones that you have to have. When he stepped up in it looked like he just got his feet off and he threw it into the ground. Sometimes, if your footwork's off, that'll directionally up or down, but you got to have those.
Jamison, the intended target. 3rd down and 9. 9:40 left to play. Vidlak to throw again. Vidlak over the middle, pass caught, and that's another 1st down. Kaufman again, another big reception for Kaufman tonight.
Yeah, Kaufman, the security blanket, and he's been all over the field, and Vidlak's been able to find him. Kaufman, how does he keep coming open? I mean, they're dropping. That time they did rush 4. Offensive line held up really well, but that still left 7 in coverage, and Kaufman has been popping open here.
Great option again. Vidlak to keep. Hit at the 20, brought down. Approaching the 9-minute mark here in this 4th quarter. Fruitland's got to punch this in.
Yeah, Fruitland needs a touchdown right here. And again, you could see they're still not really moving with a ton of pace. They keep looking at the sideline for the plays. But I think if you're Fruitland, I get these are high school kids, you got to at least have a few plays like set in stone. Like, all right, we're going to run the next couple plays. That way you can just keep the offense moving and keep as much time on that clock as you can.
2nd and 3, pistol set. Vidlak, here comes the pressure, steps up, escapes the pocket. Vidlak to the 10, and brought down at the 9. Here comes a late flag.
Yeah, they're going to call a targeting because he came in and hit him right in the head as he was falling down. And the question is, hey, we're already going down. I can't stop that. Vidlak fell, and you saw the footing on that is starting to become in question as he slid. Yeah, they're going to call that.
So that is going against Weiser. Move it half the distance to the goal, and Fruitland has its first goal-to-go situation of the night.
And that's what I thought that they should have been doing from the beginning. Allow Vidlak back there to pick it apart. If he has a lane, tuck and run, pick up the yardage that way.
Tess Nalita to Vidlak's right. They go to Tess and met again at the line of scrimmage.
Every time there's been one man at the center leading the charge again in the backfield, and it's number 40,
Cobb.
Cash Cobb. I feel like I've been saying Cash Connor I think I said Cash Connor for one of the previous times. So Cash Cobb, he's leading the charge every time getting back down on defense, and we know what he can do on the offensive side of the ball as well. So he's having himself a phenomenal game for Weiser here.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns and a good game on defense. Hard to argue with that. 2nd and goal from the 5.
I mean, it's been okay.
Yeah.
It's just been mediocre. No, he's played a phenomenal game.
Into the game at running back is Wilson now. Low snap to the end zone they go, and it's incomplete.
Boy, that's a tough pass to complete, especially when you have an undersized receiver out there. And he's covered by a couple of 6-footers, and I think Kaufman only runs about 5'9". Trying to throw that fade route and get it there. There's just not a lot of real estate. Me personally, unless I have a big target on the outside, I like to run a lot of drag routes, cross routes. Some pick plays right now would probably be beneficial, but got to do something. And this is 2-down territory. Absolutely.
Yep. 3rd down and goal from the 5. Wilson still in the game at running back. Twin receivers to each side. They send Kaufman in motion out to the far side. Vidlak rolls. Vidlak looking sidearm throw, hit the pylon, not a receiver, and it's 4th and goal.
4th and goal, and he had Tracy in the back of the end zone wide open. He was trying to go to his man Kaufman, and it was that sidearm sling. Tracy was running free, and he's letting him know, hey, Vidlak, buddy, I'm wide open in the back.
Yeah, he was open.
Yeah, we've seen Tracy. We were calling his name a lot in the first half. The second half kind of gone quiet. We haven't seen Vidlak get him the ball, but we have been calling out Kaufman's name. He's been Vidlak's go-to target this second half. But it wouldn't hurt to try going back to Tracy as he was wide open in the back of the end zone.
7:37 to go. 4th and goal from the 5. Fruitland needs this. Vidlak to throw. Here comes pressure. Over the middle. It's dropped. Kaufman couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, threw behind him. He had him, and that's the problem. Vidlak, again, not the tallest guy. That release point, had to throw it and get it through, throw it too high. Kaufman was in the slot, ran a post, ran behind the defender, and there was a blitz on the outside. Obot picked it up, and it was kind of a bang-bang play. Kaufman was open. He had him, just not able to complete the pass.
There was nobody within probably like 10 yards of him. He was wide open in the middle of the field, just a little behind him, off the fingertips, and this Fruitland crowd just all the air, just all the oxygen left their body as that was the chance to get on the board and score. But again, offense can't put up any points.
Defense has got to get off the field now. As run over to the left side, gain of a couple.
I mean, if Weiser pitches a shutout tonight, that's a statement. I mean, that's a statement to voters and the media. Not that
like
it's going to matter.
I don't know what else they have to do. They beat Homedale when Homedale was the top-ranked team. Homedale was #1 in the state a couple weeks ago. Weiser smoked them.
Yeah, and I can see why. I mean, you look at how physical they are up front. They'll lean on you, and in the second half, if you haven't created any kind of lead and you've been relying on it, you're about to get beat to a pulp.
2nd and 7, under 7 minutes to play. Up the middle they go with Cobb, who's still on his feet, falls forward for a first down.
So let's extend this a little bit. Let's talk a little Weiser moving in terms of the rest of the way what this might look like. So as is, 6:42 left. They're just happy to let the clock tick, knock off 35 seconds between each play every time. Do the math, and I don't know what that is. It's 3, 4, probably 5 plays? 6. I mean,
Fruitland very well could not touch the ball for the rest of
the game. Yeah, they'll use some timeouts, but if they continue to get first downs, they should do it. So it's a 1st and 10 now. Ball's on the 18-yard line. But if this holds up and they can run this style off, this is actually competitive against Sugar Salem.
Yeah, Engel trying to find the edge, brought down at the 24.
More importantly, he stays in bounds, and that clock is going to keep moving to under 6 minutes now.
It's crazy that we start thinking about possessions when there's half of a quarter left. That's just what Weiser does.
Yeah, and just a different style of football. It's smash mouth football. And they're more than happy to just let the clock run down. In fact, this is the type of team that doesn't care about stats, right? A win's a win. Individual stats don't mean anything. It's a sum of all the pieces.
Cobb up the middle. I think he's just short of the first down. 3rd and short. Now they give it to him. First down, Weiser. 5.5 minutes to go. This clock is just going to melt.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. I'm going to tell you right now, you're right. Speaking of melting, I could get a nice hot chocolate to melt in my mouth right now. It's cold up here on the top of this thing, folks.
And we got a little bit of a breeze going on, probably because, again, we are on top of the booth. But, you know, it's not exactly the warmest place on the planet right now.
No, not at all. First cold weekend of the year. Right?
Of the year. Well, you two guys are younger than me. I mean, I'm not ancient, but I'll be honest with you, the older I get, the less I like the cold weather.
I second that.
Yeah, the older I get, I'm like, man, shoulders aching, knees are aching.
Cobb again across the 30, down to the 32. That's a pickup of 5. And I can tell you, if they pick up 4 or 5 yards a pop, Fruitland will not get the ball back for the rest of the night.
And if it's, I mean, yeah, maybe if you pop one, you go score a touchdown. But if you're anywhere close and you have defenders around, you have a first, I say just take a knee. Slide down. I'm serious.
Yeah, right.
Let that clock run. I mean, you're happy to take a 14-0 win at Fruitland, senior night.
Yeah.
Huge pivotal game, essentially winning your conference for the first time since 2005. First downs and take knees.
Here comes a blitz up the middle. They just get the handoff off in time, but busted through that initial line. The Fruitland defensive line doesn't matter, though. Weiser still moves the sticks.
Yeah, and I was going to give a shout out, and it was an all-state linebacker last year. That's Quinn Hood, and he's one of those throwback guys. He has a neck roll, guys. He has a neck roll. He has it. I mean, he looks like a linebacker. If we were to just stereotype anybody here, he's like, hi, my name's Brian Bosworth. No, I mean, my name's Quinn Hood, and I play football. So he's been at.
That's your prototypical football player right there with the neck. I've never seen a neck roll on a high schooler before.
Well, it's because they were not as cool by the time you were in high school, man.
This is true. This is true.
This is a comeback now. Bringing it back.
This is going to be a toss to the left side, and this is a pickup of just a couple. There's 3:22 left to go in this game. When I said a couple minutes ago this clock was going to melt, it melts when Weiser is trying to close out a game. Timeout Fruitland.
Yeah, timeout Fruitland. And here's the timeout strategy for a lot of people if you don't know how it is. You don't want to do it on a big pickup. If it's a big pickup, you don't want to do it. You want to let them get a first down, bounce back. But this was a short pickup. Only a game of about one, and this is your opportunity to use a timeout. So call a timeout here. They have two left. If they get remotely close to the first down, they won't call another timeout. They'll wait until they get them on a stop, and then that's when you call a timeout again.
Weiser 3 minutes and 22 seconds away from its first district and conference championship since 2005. Most of the kids on that sideline, I don't think were born.
Oh, man. 2005, man. That is. Well, makes me feel old.
Makes me feel old. I remember 2005, so.
I was 3 years old in 2005, so
oh my gosh.
I do not remember 2005.
2005, I was living in the Washington, D.C. area. And ironically, I got asked to play baseball back. I didn't end up playing. It was for a team. It was like a low, like independent rookie ball league. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that amazing, but I thought it was kind of cool.
They're going to throw, and they've complete this one out to Xander Gray. He may have got out of bounds, but a rare throw there on this drive. First throw of the drive as Cook drops back, delivers one to Gray.
Yeah, that's just the second completion of the night.
That's incredible.
I mean, that's Army.
Yeah.
That's Navy, right? Like that's.
Yeah.
Although Army does have a quarterback that can throw the ball now, but Army of years past. How's that?
Right. 3rd and 2, 3:20 to go. Clock is stopped as Gray was out of bounds. 3rd down and 2 here. Right side, first down. Cobb across the 45 down to the 42.
And that's another first down, and barring a timeout, this clock is going to continue to move.
I think Fruitland's only got one timeout left.
Yeah, one timeout to go, and
ref just signaled clock movement. So yeah, we're now approaching the 3-minute mark. And I mean, you guys have been saying it this whole drive. I don't think Fruitland touches the ball the rest of this game.
I don't think they will either.
Well,
unless Cobb busts one.
Yeah, I mean, unless they score a touchdown, but I just don't think that they can stop them. I don't think that they, at this point in the game, they have worn them out so much defensively because those big boys up front are going both ways. They got to be gassed, and they're going to hit it for 4 yards a pop.
Up the middle they go again, down to the 40. 2:36 to go. And I don't vote in the media poll. If I did, Weiser has my vote. I've seen them twice now, and they took it to Homedale a couple weeks ago, and now they've just defensively they've frustrated Fruitland. Fruitland's kind of got in its own way tonight a little bit.
Yeah.
But Weiser, man, I think they're the best team in 4A. I'm serious. I haven't seen Sugar.
I haven't seen Sugar. I mean, they would be, and I haven't seen Sugar and Buell, and those would be the only two. Buell did beat Weiser, so you can make that argument, but that's a lifetime ago.
Right.
That's playing in 100-degree weather, not 40-degree weather. So
exactly.
And it's two different ball games because when you're running the football versus throwing the football in 40 degrees, it looks a lot different.
Yeah. Final timeout taken by Fruitland.
Yeah, and to your point, Lucas, I'd lean on Weiser. Now, depending on what Sugar does, and we could probably look them up. I don't have them. I can look them up. But depending on what they do the second half of the season, what they've done in the second half, because they have lost a couple games, but one of them was to Skyline?
Yes. I mean, Sugar plays just a a gauntlet schedule. We'll get their schedule up here. They have lost twice, and they were in back-to-back weeks. But until someone other than Sugar wins this classification, Sugar runs this classification.
They do, and that's kind of my point. Is I don't know if I can't dethrone the Kings.
So the losses were to Star Valley, Wyoming. Very good.
Very good. Very good football
program.
team, yeah.
They lost to Star Valley by a touchdown. Lost to Kimberly by 3.
Oh, Kimberly, no kidding. All right.
Since then, they beat Preston 48-20 and beat South Fremont 56-12. They have Teton next week. They're off tonight.
Yeah, and Teton's solid, right? And you can't write them off, although they're more down this year. Interesting, the Kimberly loss, though.
Yeah. 3rd down and 8.
Based on that schedule, based on what we're talking about, I'd probably say Weiser's the team to beat.
I'm with you. I totally agree.
But yeah, based on how they're playing today, I don't see how. I mean, again, you guys have been like Sugar Salem. I haven't seen them play either, but they're always a team to look out for. And other than that, like, they just beat Fruitland. They destroyed Homedale, and Homedale was a big-time threat. And they play
number 1 team in the state when they played them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like this Weiser team's looking good, and they play Payette next week to end off their season. So Weiser has a chance to not only make some magic happen tonight, but even end their season on a high note next week if they can win.
This is 4th and 2 with just over a minute to play. And it'll wrap things up if Weiser can get it. Cook on the keeper has the first down to the 26. And with a minute left to play, Weiser is a minute away from winning its first district and conference championship since 2005.
And well-deserved, and they've gone out and they run this gauntlet that is this conference, and they've done it, and convincingly in this type of game, yeah. 14-0 is convincing. You know, we talked about how Fruitland maybe shot themselves in the foot. Well, no maybe about it, but they did shoot themselves in the foot multiple times. I mean, the penalties in the first half were atrocious, and they're just not able to connect in the second half down near the goal line. That's it. There's your conference champions right there, folks. A clan of Wolverines.
They win, and they come pouring off the sideline. Weiser winning the conference for the first time since 2005. And probably in a year where this conference, this Snake River Valley Conference, has been as good as it has maybe been since 2005. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4 teams entering the night in this conference with 6-1 records. Weiser has now beaten all of them.
What a phenomenal
award. Our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game presented by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Weiser wins this one 14-0.
Let's talk about open.
Final score here tonight, Weiser capping off its perfect conference record here tonight at Fruitland, winning this one 14-0. The Wolverines are district champions for the first time since 2005. Lucas Gebhardt brought you coverage of this one alongside with Ryan Luke and Zach White. Gentlemen, this was we've been saying it the last couple minutes. What else has Weiser got to do? Impressive. I mean,
Very impressive.
They've beaten Homedale, they've beaten McCall, and now they've beaten Fruitland. 4 teams entering the night, including Weiser, with records of 5-2 or better. 3 of those teams with 6-1 records. They've beaten all of them.
And we talked about, like, Weiser started the season 0-2. We've said that multiple times tonight, and the maturity, the growth throughout the season has just been impeccable, and that led him to 6 straight wins and now a conference championship for the first time in 19 years. So congratulations to the Weiser Wolverines, the clan of Wolverines tonight.
That's right. One thing left to do here tonight is award our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game presented by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to always keep your head in the game, whether you're on the field or on the road, be in the moment and free of distractions. So we had one guy here tonight, Ryan. He scored 2 touchdowns, played pretty well on defense. Take it away.
Well, who did that? I mean, no, it was tough because, you start looking at these players, and there were certain people that stood out and really made plays. But made enough plays that you really remember those. And there were two plays. I will call it the one big play with Cash Cobb when he took it 90 yards for the touchdown. And it was like an elite running piece if you were to look back on it. And as he took it 90 yards, he showed speed, he showed balance, patience. He allowed his blockers to get in front of him. And then he just was a tough guy. The last couple drives, he essentially milked a 6-minute clock all the way down. He carried the ball multiple times on that last one. Defensively, Zach, you talked about it, in the middle of a lot of big sticks. And the way he made a lot of plays in the backfield, he played a heck of a game. So Cash Cobb is your player of the game. 2 touchdowns on the night and went both ways defensively, made some huge stops for this district champion clan of Wolverines from Weiser.
And quickly, just before we wrap things up here, you were impressed with the lineman here tonight for Weiser, or for Fruitland as well. Calvin Obot, talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Obot. So, and again, I'm no expert, but I try to be. I was just looking at some of these guys on the field and who has the ability to play at the next level, and I mentioned it during the broadcast, but Kelvin Obot really impressed me with a lot of things he did. He was a two-way player. Some of the things that he did really well is his kick step when he was picking up the blitz. He has a big, long wingspan. He's 6'5". He was able to just knock a lot of these outside blitzers off their blitz path to get to the quarterback. He did a great job there. And then defensively, almost had the strip sack that could have changed the trajectory of this game, and he made a lot of stops. So Kelvin Obot, he's my pick, and looking at all these kids. I mean, anybody has a chance to do whatever, but he may be looking at a kid that's going to play at the next level.
So Weiser winning this one 14-0 over Fruitland, winning a conference championship in the process. This IdahoSports.com game stream production of Treasure Valley Game Night is presented by Project Filter, Valley-wide Cooperative, the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, and Your Health Idaho. Additional coverage on IdahoSports.com also brought to you by Meridian Plumbing and Lookout Credit Union. Special thanks to the whole staff here at Fruitland for their hospitality and getting this game broadcast to you, the viewer. Congratulations again to Cash Cobb, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Your final score one more time, Weiser 14, Fruitland nothing. For Ryan Luke, Zach White, my name is Lucas Gephardt. We'll see you next week on IdahoSports.com.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the